I went to VGK against Chicago on Thursday. And
oh, God.
I was with Johnny Hoagland, our producer.
Or Chicago, man. They suck.
Yeah, they suck. I didn't know that sometimes when we, like what we're doing right now, where we just like bullshit before the show, that he puts that in the show. I didn't know that. He told me that on Thursday.
Of course he does.
I didn't know that. What are you looking at?
What am I looking at?
Yeah.
I'm booking a hotel room for Brett's cousin's wedding.
You want to do that before?
Oh, I didn't know we were. Listen, I didn't know we were recording. You guys have been talking about soccer. I'm trying to get stuff done with Splash today. I've been doing a bunch of March Madness videos with WagerTalk. You guys are over here talking about how you're a fake Catholic and you paid a priest to say that you joined a church.
Whoa. Paid a priest. I did not do that. That's not true.
Who'd you pay? Who'd you pay?
I paid the receptionist. And
I really didn't know that the show had started. Now I feel like a jackass. But I'm ready to go now.
All right. Well, look, spirits are high. Liverpool just won 1-0 at PSG.
Does that mean you're going to be on last call this weekend?
No, I'm going to be in Virginia. You know that.
That's right.
But, you know, the soccer's a beautiful game because they got outplayed the whole game. And then they brought in some backup players just to, like, try to get out of there with a tie. And then one of them scored a goal in, like, the last couple minutes of the game, and they won 1-0. It was awesome.
Because the guys you pay millions of dollars don't actually do their job, and the backup players actually care. Got it.
I wouldn't
Sounds like the NBA.
All right. Anyways, they won 1-0. Now there's a return leg at Anfield on Tuesday. So be ready for that. So the way it works now is they play home and away, and whoever has the most goals on aggregate goes to the next round. So now
that we've lost most of our audience,
I don't care about that. I don't do it for them. I do it for me. What do you want? You want to talk about? Actually, you know what? I do have a few things I want to talk to you about before you get into all your prepared spiels. What I want to say, first of all, thank you for joining us in between vacations. You just got back from Cancun. You're leaving on a cruise like tomorrow. So I appreciate you squeezing us in.
I'm leaving on a cruise next Friday. Relax.
I'm sorry. What is this? So you know Andrew Babakitis. He works here. Everybody calls him Boosts.
I've never heard that nickname.
He does a lot of our player prop stuff. He does a lot of our UFC stuff. He keeps telling me about these things on Twitter, on X, where like gambling people go into I don't understand how it works. They go into like a chat room and then they talk to each other. And
I saw his mailbag question on this, and I was like, "We're not answering this. I'm not going to read this."
It was I didn't know it was a mailbag.
Here's the thing.
What is? You explain it to me because I want to make sure everybody understands.
You want me to explain it like I've ever hung out in there?
Well, hold on a second, because I'm 41. I turned 42 on Monday. I'm old. I'm an older person. Old. I have no idea what it is. He keeps asking me why don't I go on it. And I'm like, I have no idea what it is or even how it works. So I was like, let me talk to Kelly, because Kelly's a big social media star.
I don't know how it works either, other than I've done some spaces, and that's what actually turned into WagerTalk's last call going live on X, because I'm like, why are we doing spaces when we could just go, then we could broadcast on multiple platforms. I liked doing the spaces. It's a community thing, right? So like I started spaces and I can invite people to talk, or I can ask questions, or I can just talk with somebody else or by myself, and people sit there and they listen. That's what a spaces is.
Can anyone talk, or do they have to be like unmuted?
I think you have to give them permission.
Because what if somebody joined the space and just made some inappropriate comment? You know, that would suck.
Yeah. And I listen, I don't know. I've not spent 1 second on one of those spaces. I told Errol Epstein that I thought an awful hair day, by the way. I told Errol Epstein that she should never go on them. She did not listen to me. And then she became the subject of all these attacks that you gave out your prescription for a couple weeks ago. That's how
that started? Oh,
yes.
Shit, I didn't even know that. Oh, I thought you tweeted something that people didn't agree with.
No, she had just launched the Prop Queen. And so I think she was like taking the page out of my book that's like, hey, listen, free publicity, go on, put yourself out there, all these things. And so she did, and inadvertently, that's how she became a tout and subject of all these attacks. So now this kid that's running the spaces, I don't know who he is. Okay. My buddy Dan said he's a nice kid, but I think he's like 25.
I heard he's like 8 years old.
every single night, and he has a space, I guess, or a lot of nights, and does a space and basically invites on all of these internet personality / influencer types.
Okay.
And I guess it's just an absolute utter shit show. Like,
I get it from his perspective, the kid, and I give him credit. That's a good idea.
sure.
I think I actually respect his side of it. What I don't understand is why do people get, I'm being serious. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you get into it? For what? Like, what do you get out of it? I don't understand. That's why I asked Andrew.
But it's like no different than anything else that I've told people that I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And they're like, why? Why wouldn't you come to this event or come to that? Because I am not going to promote somebody's event just to say that I was there. I just don't need, I'm not at that point in my life. Like, I guess if I was just starting off, maybe, but like, there's so much stuff that I've done and that I feel like, for lack of better words, and it risks sounding arrogant, I'm above. I played in the mud with these losers for years. It cost me millions of dollars, in fact, by interacting with them and thinking that I was going to somehow, prove to this random guy on the internet that I'm not just some pair of tits. And guess what? Here we are.
I don't think you can say, I got our producer John's in my office.
I can say whatever I want. Remember, this is my show. I can say whatever I want because
no way.
I work for myself.
There's no way you can say that.
I can definitely say whatever I want.
No way you can. There's no way you can call yourself a pair of tits.
No, I'm just saying what they say. But that's the funny thing is
that's funny.
That's where we've evolved. We haven't evolved. I see these insults that were the same insults that I got in 2009 or 2011 or 2013. And
give me an example of an insult. Like, for what? Like what?
Get back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. Like,
I didn't mean when I said that.
I think like ridiculous things. Like some guy got in the comments the other night, and Ariel sent me the screenshot like 1 a.m. I woke up at like 6:30, and I was like, I don't care. I don't care. And I've never pretended to have an edge in the NBA. I said I don't like to follow, handicap, watch the NBA until the playoffs for this very reason. And this guy's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's the best time to have an edge. No, and in NBA, never once have I ever alluded to finding some elusive edge in the National Basketball Association. It's just, it's absurd. All of this is just so stupid.
I gotta say, I was skeptical about mentioning this, but Andrew encouraged me, and he led me to believe that it would get you fired up, and he was right. Andrew was right. Because I still don't really understand what it is, to be honest with you.
How am I fired up? I'm just saying I'm not going to play in the mud with these dorks. It's not. It serves me no purpose in my life.
Right.
I get nothing from it.
Okay.
Nothing. I could go on there and I could sound like the most articulate, most well-spoken, brilliant woman, and they're going to still find something wrong with what I had to say. Same reason why I don't go to the events, because I can sit up there with my microphone and answer everything perfectly, and it's never going to be good enough. Because these guys hate themselves. They probably hate their mothers. They probably hate any woman they've ever been involved with. And guess who gets to now be the punching bag? Me. I'm not your therapist.
I don't think that these guys have a lot of experience with girls that look like you. Can I say that? Is that
or
okay?
Girls in general? I don't know. I don't know. I don't care.
I would guess that most of them have never seen a girl naked unless they were at like a strip club. I don't even think that they care to see.
No, they can't because they just pay for it online. You mean in person?
Oh, in person. Yeah, that's true. 3-dimensionally. Yeah, you're right. Okay. All right. That's enough. That's enough.
I'm sure
it did
the
work,
sponsors
though.
of our show love this opening 10 minutes. And
you got you going. Why don't you talk? So let's pivot to that. Splash Sports.
Naked girls, Splash Sports. Got it. That's a great pivot.
What's wrong with that? Why would the people of Splash not want? All right. Well, I'm sure the audience of Splash likes naked girls. All right. Splash Sports, probably. Most of them. No judgment. Splash Sports, tell me about the contests that you're running for March Madness, kid.
So we have to talk about mine first because it's the most important.
That sounds selfish, John. I clip this out.
So, okay, here's the reality. You and I have one that is $100,000 guaranteed. And I said, hell yes, we're going to fill this contest. We're going to get $100,000. And then I said, hey, remember for college football, I did a $500 college football ATS contest. And they said, yeah, that did really well. And I was like, yeah, but we didn't max out. I want to guarantee it. And they said, absolutely not. Like for a nickel, not really. But
well, not everybody throws around $500 as liberally as you do. Some of us have concerns. And
correct. Okay. But we are doing a Pick'em March Madness edition because we did have so much fun with the college football contest. You get 3 entries max, $50K if the contest fills, and you're going to pick the entire slate against the spread. Really? In the first 8 days, you get a best pick for 2x the points. Splashsports.com/KellyInVegas. Last day to sign up, March 20th at 12:15 when the games tip off.
What are you calling the 2-point pick? Does it have a special name, like a money ball?
No, they're just calling it like a best pick. Should I have marketed like a?
Oh yeah. I don't know. Oh, definitely. Yeah, you should have like a money ball or a double pick or something. I don't know.
All right.
Well, tell us about the others. Yeah, I like the money. Like when they do the 3-point shootout at the All-Star break.
Oh God. Anyway,
why don't you tell us about the other contests, Kelly?
Anyway. Okay, so you and I have Survivor, just like we did during college football, which we're going to revamp for next year. But we have $100,000 guaranteed. Kelly and Murray Survivor Madness, $25 to enter. You can have 133 entries. Not that I think anybody will, but if you really wanted to do that, very simple.
How'd they come up with the number 133?
I think it's because of how the math works out.
Okay. That makes sense, I guess.
All right. All you have to do is pick the winner for the first 8 rounds or first 7 rounds, excuse me. And then the 8th round, you got to start picking double picks. And I think that's when things are going to get really fun. They did last year, which is why I ended up doing a reboot, like they like to call it at the Westgate SuperBook, but I think they called it a revival over at Splash. Again, splashsports.com/KellyInVegas. Last day to enter March 20th at 10 p.m. Because again, you can have it up till the very last game because you don't have to pick every single game. And then one that I'm really excited about that you and I entered for the NFL was their $1 million guaranteed pool. They're going to run it back. They're going to call it Survivor Madness World Championship. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. It's going to be really similar to ours where you just pick the winner, but you've got to, make sure each bracket is selected correctly. And then day 7 and 8, which is round 8, you're going to have to pick 2 teams. So that's when things get really, really hard.
That's the Elite 8, right? Day 7 and 8?
Yes.
Oh, that is hard. And you got to pick 2 teams?
Yes.
Oh, that's really hard. And then you can't use them again in the Final 4?
Correct. So it's like
that's really hard.
You win in advance, but if you run out of teams, you're out anyway. So.
I guess what happened to me last year. I think
me too.
I ran out of teams in the Final 4. I already used UConn and Purdue, and I had nobody left. Bummer. That's a good look. That's a cool. I'm sorry. Are you saying sucks to suck at me, or is that a general comment?
You. I don't think I made it that far. I think that's why we did the revival because I think I ran out of teams like way sooner. But that one's $100 to enter. Okay. And I think $1 million is awesome. So we have to do like a couple of teams.
I'm going to be in Virginia on Friday, so I'll be able to sign up because I fly. Great. I got a red eye tomorrow night. I'm in Virginia on Friday.
Why do you do that?
I just sleep the whole way ish. Well, Kelly,
me too.
Not everybody's in your tax bracket, right? Like some of us just take the flights that we can get. Right?
Yeah, I've taken red-eye flights and I'm just miserable.
I decided to reward myself for being so wonderful, and I'm flying first class when I come back here. So
why not? See, no, that's where you fucked up. You got to fly first class all the way there so you can actually sleep.
Yeah, but the flight back is like an hour longer, and the first class upgrade there was $1,200, and the first class upgrade back was $285.
Oh, well, that's like a no-brainer. That's like almost free. Everybody should do that. That's what's going to happen with Dublin. I have a feeling on the way there, I'm going to get stuck. I think I'm going to have to bite the bullet so I can sleep. But on the way back, maybe I won't do the upgrade.
If Liverpool makes it to the Champions League final, which is very far away, they're only in the round of 16. They had a huge win today. But if they make the Champions League final, then I'm going to go to Munich in May, for the game, obviously. And then I don't know that I'd be able to go to Dublin in August.
Well, it just sounds like you just got to plan better. I'm going to start booking my flights this week. I'm very excited. Aunt Helen already bought your ticket to the game, so you're going to look like a jackass.
I give her the money.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that to Aunt Helen. I love the Stewart.
Well, she asked how many tickets I wanted. I said 6, knowing that at least 6 people needed tickets, but more like 12.
Who are
We're
the
going to
6?
need tickets.
Who are the 6? Just so I know who's there.
You, me, Ariel, Aunt Helen, Amanda, and Ben.
I don't know who those people are. Oh, Ben?
No, you don't know that Ben.
Okay.
K-State Ben.
Good, because Ben once threatened to kick my ass at a dinner.
Oh.
But I didn't even
And
do
here
it.
we are.
Well, all right, different Ben. But I got to say, Sam Paniatovich was in Dublin, and he was rocking that hat, man. He looked really good in that hat. I think that should become
Nobody looks good in that hat. Those hats don't look good on anybody.
Oh, that's wrong.
Did you see the show Peaky Blinders? They all wore the hat. Nobody looked good in it.
Well, if Sam had been on Peaky Blinders, he would have turned that around, because that kid, he was rocking that hat. He looked awesome. Do you want to tell us about where's like, I know you're kind of in between vacations all the time. Where is your cruise? Where are you?
You're ridiculous. We have a show next week. We can talk about the cruise next week.
I'm just like,
let's talk about the things people want to talk about. They want to hear about college basketball.
Yeah, college basketball.
They want to not hear about soccer. I know there's some UFC. There's plenty to talk about. We can talk about my cruise next week.
So Kelly and I bet Houston to win it all at 10-1. We got that bet at ESPN Bet, because we got so it's a 4-way wager, right? It's me and you, it's Louis D'Onofrio, and it's Johnny Boy.
But yeah, the producers have to join us on it.
They're all part of the bet, and Louis got 10-1 at ESPN Bet, which is the best number, really good number. We're down to 6-1 here. So I think Houston's like 19-1 in the Big 12. And I watched, they played Texas Tech 2 Mondays ago. Texas Tech was a little bit beat up in that game. They had a couple guys out, but they won in Lubbock 2 days after they'd blown out Iowa State. And then they came back home 2 nights ago, and they were at home against Kansas. And the one thing I took away from that game was, why is Kansas so bad? I don't even they've got all these players. I just can't even understand how they're having the season.
It's the same comment I said about Alabama. Listen, the game's no fun when the playing field's a little bit more even now, is it?
But hasn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't Kansas spent a lot in the portal? I mean, didn't they?
So did Kansas State. Kansas State supposedly spent $2 million. They have a $2 million roster and they're garbage.
I don't understand. I didn't understand that part of it. But I guess the reason I bring it up is, do we think Kansas is worth a look for some sort of a long shot future play going into the tournament?
No, we don't.
We don't, or you don't.
No. Why would you think they were worth a long shot future play?
I don't know, because they were the preseason #1 team and they've got all these players. How can they be?
Excuse me while I pull up some Ken Pomeroy notes, because I don't have this off the top of my head.
Well, of course not, Kelly. You're not in a Twitter space. Those guys would know it all right off the top of their head, John. They would. All
right. So here's the kind of stuff. Well, I lost my notes from earlier, but there's been some theories, right? I don't know if you've seen them going around, but since we graduated from high school, John Murray, every single team except for the 2014 UConn team fit 2 metrics: top 25 in defensive adjusted efficiency on KenPom and offensive. And KU does not fit that. Yes, they have.
And how many teams do fit that, just so I know?
7.
Oh, and can you tell us who they are?
Yes.
Okay, please.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I got 2 of them.
So
I got Florida.
Florida.
And I got Houston.
And who are the other 5? Because remember, if Auburn wins the national championship, I'm retiring.
Duke,
Auburn. Yeah.
Tennessee. No.
I don't like Rick.
Hold on. I threw these notes away.
I don't like. I wouldn't. But
no, I lied. Duke, Auburn, Houston, Florida, Iowa State. These 2, the last 2 are really interesting. Clemson. Clemson's
good, man.
And Arizona.
So when Clemson beat Duke on a Saturday, and then they played Miami on a Monday. I think it was the day after the Ref Bowl. And I remember thinking to myself, no, they played North Carolina on the Monday after the Ref Bowl. And I remember thinking to myself, what a good time to bet against Clemson because they just beat Duke. And I bet North Carolina, and North Carolina got their asses kicked. And I was like, oh, so Clemson's actually really good. You're a jackass. That was my takeaway. Iowa State lost last night at home to BYU.
God, they are garbage. BYU. I was on them, and I laid 9.5 early, and the line with closing line was 8.5, and I was like, this is a dead-on loser. They're going to lose outright.
Let's just talk about losing bets. I bet West Virginia. I think this was on Saturday. I get my days run together. I bet West Virginia plus 10.5 at BYU. I think it was last weekend, and they got steamrolled by BYU. BYU won by 20 points. And then they went in, they go at Iowa. BYU's tough. I shouldn't have been betting on West Virginia.
Probably not.
That was stupid. But so Kelly's got Florida. I've got Auburn. We both have Houston, along with our producers at a bet.
I also have Texas Tech at 30-1, but they're not going to win it either.
Texas Tech. Okay. Arizona fit that metric? I feel like Arizona's not that good this year.
I feel like Arizona's not that good this year either.
Okay. Well, Duke looks tough. We have I pulled it up because I know people like this stuff. We do lose a little bit of money on Duke. We lose on Purdue. We get killed on Rutgers. Heads will roll if Rutgers wins. And we lose on Florida and St. John's. St. John's is 30-1. They are a loser for us. But I would say that, other than Duke, Duke's like an annual loss. So that doesn't really bother me too much. Everybody always bets Duke. But I feel like we're in pretty good shape on some of the other.
If Florida wins the national championship, I'm going to be even more pissed at Ariel Epstein's Ravens.
Do you think that you bet Florida because you're a homer because you live in Florida? Is that what that is?
No.
Okay. I'm just asking that question.
First of all, if I was going to be a Florida anything fan, right, I don't think it would be Florida. I don't think it would be. Florida State's real. Their fans are really annoying too. I don't know. Definitely wouldn't be Miami. I'll tell you that. It would not be Miami.
Florida's coach is awesome. That guy does that. You know who's the best, maybe the best college basketball coach I've ever seen is Rick Pitino. How could St. John possibly be this good? That guy is outrageous.
I've been making so much money on St. John's second half since the K-State game. They make the best second half adjustments. There's several teams that do, but man, they make some really, really good ones.
That guy, we are now booking, we're booking college basketball minus 109 sides both ways. So we are seeing some creep up in the handle there as we head into March. The feeling is that the market's pretty good right now. So you can tighten your splits a little bit, and we'll see what we do. We got the conference tournaments next week. I'm going to try. I went to the UNLV game last night. They actually beat San Diego State.
Oh, wow. They did?
They won. They beat San Diego State. Well, I got a young man that was working here for me. He's now a graduate assistant with the team. So I'm very proud of that youngster. So I wanted to go support him. And UNLV won. They beat San Diego State. So shout out to Brady and the coaching staff at UNLV. And I want to go to the Mountain West tournament next week.
Okay.
You got the conference. That's a great weekend. That's a sneaky weekend to come to Las Vegas if you're a college basketball fan, because every knucklehead comes for the first weekend. That's when I came before I lived here, because I'm a knucklehead. And it is extremely fun. People should do that at least once if you're a sports bettor. But the conference tournament weekend is fun because you can go to games too. And there's
you guys completely sold out for the whole time?
Completely sold out for Thursday and Friday.
No, that's just round one.
Yeah. No. There's Saturday's very.
But the following weekend, Sweet 16. No.
Okay. You can get seats for the following weekend. Yeah. Okay. And then check this out. The 29th, I'm hosting a Q&A with Christian Laettner here at the Westgate.
That's very random.
Not really. It's during March Madness. Christian Laettner is a March Madness legend. He's not?
I guess. I just didn't know. This seems very random. If you said Kelly, which basketball player am I interviewing during March Madness, he probably would have been 150th on my guest list.
Who would have been the first 149?
Well, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, actual
I'm
basketball
sure Michael,
players that are easily like.
Yeah, Michael Jordan's probably an easy get. He'd be easy. Hey, Mike, you want to come?
But like, guess who?
Me a little bit.
Not going to be Christian Leitner.
Christian Leitner.
See, I don't even know what his name is.
He had one of the greatest college careers of all time. I think Duke made the Final Four all 4 years he was there. 2 times he made a buzzer beater in an Elite Eight game to get his team to the
Netflix thing about him.
And he won 2 national championships. Christian Leitner is March Madness. You kidding me? I wasn't even a fan of his, and here I am defending him against you. You don't even know how to pronounce his name. What's the matter with you?
I don't know how to pronounce anybody's names. That's why I never want to talk UFC with you. I have to talk UFC all day Saturday with Babakitis, VR, Andy, Kyle, all the guys from WagerTalk, and I'm like, so I'm just gonna sit there and not pronounce anybody's name.
How's Babakitis doing on WagerTalk, talking the fights with you guys?
He has not done anything with me yet, but from the clips that I've seen,
you were on vacation.
Yeah, from the clips that I've seen, he seems like he's doing a great job.
Doing a good job.
I'll say this: our audience, because I did pop on and was like reading the comments, our audience does miss Art.
Art's great. Art. I had one of my.
Yeah, but now he's taking a page out of your book. His vacation is just he's been on vacation for like a month. I'm like, Art, come on, like you got to get it back. You got to come back to work.
I just saw him the other day. He hasn't been on vacation.
No, I mean like at WagerTalk. I need him to come back to work.
Whoa. Hold on a second. Stop. Me taking a vacation. Taking a vacation is taking a page out of my book, not your book. You just got back from Cancun, and we gotta
rush out for these things to overlap like they did. It just kind of happened that way.
We gotta rush out our March Madness show because you're leaving for a cruise or you're returning from a cruise. I don't remember. And you're before we started the show, you're booking a hotel room for somebody's wedding.
Yeah, I have 6 weddings this year. I just got 1 completed.
That's
luckily everybody's smart. The 2 during football season are on Fridays. Like people finally listen to me.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a big factor. It probably had nothing to do with the venue being cheaper on Friday. It was probably because of your ranting on your show. That's why they did it.
Then don't ask me to come.
Yeah, UFC 313 is Saturday night at T-Mobile. So the main event, Poatan is fighting Ankalaev.
Poatan?
Poatan. Chama. You know, the Brazilian guy.
No.
You don't know? He's like the biggest star in the UFC.
I don't go to the UFC anymore now that I don't live there.
Well, who's the biggest star in the UFC? Yeah, he thinks it's Pereira too. John Hoagland. Are you going? He's going. He's got the money. So there's a lot.
I like Sean O'Malley. Does that count? He's pretty big.
Yeah, he's big, I guess. There's a lot of money on the main event. Poatan and Ankalaev. Ankalaev right now is a -115 favorite. He's getting he's getting almost all of the tickets, the money on him against Poatan, the champion. Sort of an interesting way they're betting that fight. The question is, can Ankalaev take him down? If he can't, I don't know how he could possibly win. But if he does, he can just lay on him for 5 rounds. But the UFC must want Poatan to win. He's their biggest star. They don't want another one of these anonymous wrestler type guys who just drag people to the ground and lay on them to be a champion, right?
No, that sounds awful.
So the co-main event was supposed to be Justin Gaethje again.
Yeah, he's a huge star.
Well, he is a huge star. He was supposed to fight Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker got hurt.
Yeah.
So they got a new fight there. And then the rest of the card, Curtis Blades is fighting. King Green is fighting. I've done well betting against that guy over the years. King used to be.
So wait, what are we betting?
I haven't bet anything. You
haven't bet anything because I never, ever hear on the show or get a text from you guys, and then you assholes mid like Saturday night or like rooting for these people, and I'm like, what about me? Nobody wants to
we had
UFC bets, and then I have to have it on the TV and root against you guys.
I was lucky enough to go to UFC Seattle a couple of weeks ago in Seattle. That's where that's why I got Let's tell that story. Let's tell. So I'm in Seattle and having breakfast the morning of the fight at my hotel. And
what kind of hotel were you staying in?
It was a Hyatt.
Oh, okay.
It was nice. And this nice kid, came over and just said hello, said he was a fan of the show. He's a nice young man from Canada. And I texted Kelly and I'm like, oh, Kelly, it's cool. Like one of your fans just recognized me at the Hyatt. I was having breakfast. or at the hotel. I was having breakfast, and Kelly responds is big deal. It's not like you got recognized in China or something like that. What does that even mean? I thought you would think it was cool that there was a fan.
I did not get recognized one time in Mexico, not once, and it was glorious. I'm glad nobody recognized me because I was a complete and utter shit show, which was great. But the funny thing is the girl that I became friends with, like, all these bridesmaids because hello, I'm a lot of fucking fun, and so I was like hanging out with these girls that are like Ariel Epstein's ages, are all married with kids, and I'm like, time to party. Anyway. The single one was like complaining about how she didn't have a man. And I'm like, you know what? I've got some men for you. And I sent like you and a couple other guys her Instagram, and I'm like, let the games begin.
Right.
And then like 2 days later, I text her and I'm like, hey,
some men.
Yes. A few of you guys that I have personally vetted as my friends. Okay. Anyway, so then I text her a few days later. I was like, hey, sorry if these guys are like too much in your DMs or whatever. She's like, no, these guys are great. She goes, also, how come like 150 people that I follow you? I'm like, oh, okay, great. Let's not tell people about me falling off the bar stool, please.
You felt strange that no one recognized you in Cancun. I mean,
no, I'm being a smart ass about you.
Out of control.
I'm happy nobody recognized me.
I thought you'd think it was
I started drinking tequila every day at like 9 a.m.
So we had bet Ricky Simon, who did win, and then Kelly was upset. But the same group we bet the week before, I don't remember who it was, that person lost. Do you remember that fight? We lost the week before. So and if we lose, you can't handle it. You just go off the rails. Yes.
I can't handle. Okay.
No, you go off the rails when we lose. I'll text you if I get anything for Saturday.
I don't want it. No, I don't want it because then it's going to lose. I don't want it.
This is what I'm talking about. You're off the rails. You haven't even lost yet. You're off the rails. What's the matter with you? You're already. Oh my God! I don't want it.
Nope, I don't want it now. I don't want your pity. I don't want your pity bets. Okay, I just don't.
What else do you want to talk about before we get into the mailbag section? Kelly in Vegas.
You didn't tell our audience, and if you've still been chatting with the nice lady that I hooked you up with.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they want to talk about.
I think that they would like you to find a nice lady.
Don't you think that girl is too young for me?
No.
Oh, I disagree.
No, because here's the problem. And if you listen to Ariel and every other girl that's 30 that wants to be married and have kids, those men are not ready to be married and have kids. They're being shitheads. All the ones that want to be married and have kids are already married and have kids. So they're kind of stuck with these guys because they went career focus and not marriage focus.
I spent the last 15 minutes before the show, I spent either sitting on that cabinet or crouched down in front of the TV. And then when John Hoagland got here, he said, can you let me into your office? And I said, give me 3 minutes because there was 3 minutes left in the game. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know how put together I really am here. This is what I would do.
I think we should have like a sports world like dating show because it's like you live in a country club, you have a nice house, you probably have a good 401k. We know you have lots of Bitcoin. You have 2 dogs. You're just
very beautiful.
You're just missing out on you check a lot of boxes, John Murray.
You're
funny.
I would need a girl who loves my dogs. That would be a must.
Why would anybody want to date somebody that doesn't like animals?
Well, you know what? So I'll tell a funny story before we get to the mailbag. I screwed up on Sunday. I invited a bunch of people over to my house, and I invited them to bring their dogs. And I thought Ellie wasn't going to pay any attention to anybody because she's so obsessed with her balls. And I knew Mario's my pug. I knew he would find the biggest dog and just fight with it the whole time. And my read on Mario was perfect. He found my friend Lewis's husky Perla, and he just went right at her, and they just fought and wrestled the entire time. Mario, I got the perfect read. Ellie was like, who the hell are these dogs? They're in my house.
Why the fuck are they in my house?
And they're going near my tennis balls. And you should have seen her. She was charging at them, screeching, scaring the other
Because you
dog.
had her as an only child for too long.
It was completely my fault. It was because, Ellie is such a sweetheart. And I've had other friends that she knows bring their dogs over and she just plays with them. But it was new dogs, new territory. So I'm saying, a girl would have to deal with all that. Ellie is an alpha female, man. She is. Mario is adorable.
How
He's
funny.
All right.
Well, that is a very heartwarming story, and I have no segue to the mailbag.
Well, dude, so let me do this because before you start asking the questions, we got a lot of questions about the NFL draft. So how honest do you want me to be about what I really think of that?
I know you could give 0 fucks.
I think it's awful for look, I know that all your fans on TikTok, they don't like me because I talk about like losing for the house, but our first responsibility is to protect the Westgate and the SuperBook from losing money. That's job one as a bookmaker. It's not to impress some dork on Twitter. It's to protect this place from losing money. The NFL draft is like as close to a guaranteed loss for the book as possible. We will put some stuff up, but we'll do it a day or two before the draft. It'll be a limited menu. It's just not a winner for us. And some of these other books, obviously we know they have all these loss leaders. They just hemorrhage money to gain customers. And I understand that it's starting to work because of their iGaming component. They're starting to become profitable, but a lot of the other ones are going out of business.
Yeah, I think that was like their goal all along.
I know.
I've worked with some of those operators, and that was always brought up in the meetings.
I just wanted the customers are not really going to like what I have to say about the draft because it's just going to be a limited menu because we tried it. 2018, me, Ed Salmons, we worked on it together. We did a whole bunch of props and we didn't do well at all. And we've been scaling it back. It's information based.
I was just going to say, because somebody else has better information than you do.
They do. And we
just like the guy that knew Tom Brady was going to go to the Bucs.
Yeah, there was a guy who knew Tom Brady was going to go to the Bucs. I remember there was a guy that knew that Kevin Durant was going to sign with Golden State. I remember that in the summer, I think, of 2016, maybe. I was working that day. And it's just tough. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that we have a responsibility to make sure that we're not exposing ourselves to information that we don't have. So we are scaling it back and we're being a lot more conservative. So your people, your fans, are not going to really like what I have to say about the draft.
Yeah. My people. Okay. Fans. So do you want me to just take out all the questions?
We don't even have betting on who will be the first pick in the draft. So that's the first question. So answer is, unfortunately, Ruben _TVR 2020. We do not have wagering on that.
Okay. All right. BFPSU 123 on X says, is there sharp action on the Pereira Anna Kaliv UFC fight this weekend? It's basically to pick him right now. And who does John like in the fight? And John Murray is frozen.
So, no, I wouldn't say we've seen sharp action. We've seen a lot of – sorry, you kind of skipped. We've seen a lot of action on Ankalaev. I think that's how you pronounce it, I hope. I wouldn't say sharp, though. I will say this. We think it's such a big fight that on Saturday we're going to actually tighten our splits. We're going to go to a 10-cent split. So if the pick'em would be – I don't know what the price is going to be on Saturday, but if it was pick'em, it would be -105 both ways. That's what I mean by that. So a 10-cent margin, just try to write a lot of money on that fight. Nothing sharp on that fight. I will say this. There was a very sharp player who took, and I don't know how to pronounce the name. So I'm going to go Kelly here. But Ignacio Bahamondes, maybe, fighting Jalen Turner. That got some sharp steam. Went from -20 to -40.
Okay.
So that's a sharp, but I don't – No sharp action on the main event yet.
All right, Wednesday. David CH with a bunch of numbers. I'm not going to read behind it. What's the over/under on SEC teams in the bracket? I'm saying 10. is how many I think should get in.
Wait a minute.
How many do I think the committee is going to let in?
Hold on a second. Kelly, you didn't read the whole question. So David CH 481-64279 on X. What's the over-under on SEC teams in the bracket? Kelly, that's the big conference in the Southeast that pummels the Big 12 at most everything. That was his full question. So why don't you answer both parts? No, I guess
I
not
think
really
10 teams should get in.
10
SEC
10 sounds
teams.
light. 10 sounds light.
14 is insane. You're gonna let in Oklahoma. Here, let me tell you about Oklahoma's resume. And they're gonna let them in. Watch. This is gonna be like Ole Miss 2.0. They had a 4-game losing streak in January to Alabama, A&M, Georgia, Texas. Then they had a 5-game losing streak in February to Auburn, Tennessee, Mizzou, LSU, Florida, beat Mississippi State at home, and then go lose to Kentucky and Ole Miss. I mean, and you want this team
really
to get
hard.
in?
That's a really hard
17
schedule.
and 12 team. Yeah, okay.
That's a pretty hard schedule. Oh, so you're saying no?
Shit. That is the whole argument for football. They have a hard schedule. Still, the Big 12 is the toughest basketball conference. Still, the SEC looks great, but I think they should get 10 teams in, not 14.
Why do you think? I mean, all seriousness, because I think the Big 12 is really good too. Why do you think that the SEC has gotten so good at basketball? Is it because their sports programs have the deepest pockets, and in football you've got to buy like X amount of players, but in basketball if you buy like 2 or 3 players, now you're good. So it's a lot quicker to is that what it is? Because we were talking, Ed and I were talking about this yesterday. Ed Sanders and I were talking about this yesterday. When we do next week, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks from now, the over-unders on conference wins.
Mountain West unders have been so money for years.
We have never. The number we're going to put up on the SEC will be by far the highest.
What's it going to be, 13 and a half? You guys are going to put up 13 and a half.
No. It's going to be more than that.
Oh, not on wins. You're talking about wins, not teams getting in. Sorry.
Wins by the conference. Wins the SEC has in the NCAA tournament. It'll be the highest number ever. And it's just like all my instincts tell me that we should book it to need the under.
Duh.
Because there's no way this conference can be that good, right? I mean, we're going to find out in March, but right now it just looks like they're so far ahead of the field. We'll see what happens. David, thank you for the question. That was a good question. It got Kelly really, you know.
You guys are ridiculous. I'm over here communicating with the hotel in terms of my reservation. Mr. Joey Cheese. Well, because I didn't need all the extra 1, 2, 3, 17, blah, 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 and then the unserious trash talk. Like I'm going to take you seriously. Okay, Mr. Joey Cheese on X says, here's one. How mad is everybody going to be when UConn turns it on in 3-peats? They are not. Let's look up Connecticut right now.
We have Connecticut at 100-1 right now. So I don't know.
They rank at 109th in defense.
Okay.
No.
So where are they going to be? I don't look at those bracket things. Where are they going to be seated? Like an 8 seed or something like that?
9 seed? 8 or 9.
Okay. Good guess.
Let me look.
Well,
I don't know if I have an account here.
They're not gonna win it all, but it would be funny. It'd be funny. Kelly would be so rattled if that happened.
I would be so rattled.
You're rattled. You're rattled just sitting there.
I'm not rattled. T.S. Finke on X says, with more and more states legalizing sports betting, is it helping or hurting Nevada overall?
I think it hurts things like Super Bowl and March Madness. You know, it was such an institution to travel to Las Vegas for the NCAA tournament. My first trip to Vegas was for the NCAA tournament and when I was like 21 years old, and the Super Bowl too. And now you can pretty much bet all that stuff from your couch at your house. Plus, I think like this generation, like the people that go into those spaces with Kelly, I think they're more inclined. Like, isn't this generation in your mind more inclined to just sit at home and like order food to be delivered to them than to actually go out into the world? I think
I'm all for food delivery if like I'm working all day and I don't have time to cook, or if you just want to like bum it on the couch and order a pizza. But like, I love going to dinner.
No, but I'm saying that I think that like this generation is so inclined to just like play on their phone all day, whether it's betting or talking to girls,
Tendering, talking to fake chicks on the internet on Tinder.
And I do think that the legalization nationally has definitely hurt those big weekends, because you don't have to come here for that experience. I don't know every casino in the country. I can't believe that anybody has as good of a setup as the Westgate SuperBook does. When you talk about
I've
those
been to a
VIP
few
tours.
others, and I got a card today from the Boston Encore, and it's a really nice hotel, but like their sports book is like hard bar stools and like 20 TVs. It's not great. I mean, it's great because that's Viva's seltzer, and we can go there, we can drink it, we can watch the games, and we can bet, but it's not like I want to sit in like a big comfy couch and have people bring me food and drinks all day. I don't have to keep going up to the counter. I don't know. You're right, but this generation doesn't drink or do anything really.
But then when you're after the games are over too, you're in Vegas and you can go to all the restaurants we have here, maybe go to a show if that's your thing. I mean, I won't say everything there is to do.
Yeah, because the games end so early there. It's so weird.
So I still think that this is the best place to come, but I'm just saying that there's more options now. And I do think that hurts something like March Madness foot traffic. I know it does.
All right. We have one more question. Okay. Big Zach with like 8Ks on X says, for someone who is very passionate about starting a career in the sportsbook business, Westgate, Las Vegas especially, where should one start? P.S. I'm coming to the SuperBook this weekend and hope to get a word in with Art DeCesar at Art Dice 21. Much love from Hawaii. Hope to be a part of the team one day.
I love it. I love this. This is a great message. This is one of the best mailbag questions we've ever got. So I will be in Virginia this weekend for James Bruce Murray, big Liverpool fan. I'm going to be there.
He made his middle name Bruce?
That's
Bruce?
His grandpa on his mom's side.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to be there for his baptism, and he and I'll be commiserating over the big Liverpool win today, obviously. But get your card get your card, your information to someone, and I will send you a message when I get back into the office next week, and we'll figure out what to do about that. You good? We're going to do a show. We're doing our show this month every Wednesday.
Yes.
We're going to do the 12th. We're going to do it the 19th after Kelly's next vacation, right? And then we're going to do the 26th of March. And you're at this point, you're not coming to Vegas for any of the weekends. Is that correct?
I don't think so. Listen, I might be really burnt out. So right after I get back from my cruise, Johnny Detroit's going to be here for his big 50th birthday.
Oh, cool.
So that's going to be, something going on. I don't know. If I come to Vegas, it's going to be last minute. I'll just say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to Vegas. But as of right now, I'm not coming to Vegas.
It's a fun weekend to come here.
Well, I would love to come for the Bro-Am, but I didn't get invited. So it's kind of just like the UFC bets. It's fine.
The Bro-Am is a very exclusive event. It's invite only. Does Brett want to play? The Bro-Am is he played in the first Bro-Am. He's a Bro-Am alum.
I know.
All right. I'll talk to you Wednesday.